Okay, here's Loren and Jeremy. That's Loren in the bow. This is part of your L2 update, and we are working on some L3 skills because of your L3 curiosity. Let's just play this Yellow Falls video through once at real speed, and then we'll break it down with some analysis. Really nice entry on the green tongue. My sense was that you stayed pretty well on the green water. A nice dry line through some pretty significantly sized features for an open boat. Nice catch of that eddy, complementary strokes. A little bit of a S-turn or ferry, dodging that big crashing wave. Nice move over to the river right eddy. Some things to highlight here, some really nice paddling in sync. That's not just pretty, it is a little bit more efficient, and that stays on form. Jeremy, you have a little bit of a correction there, perfectly reasonable to miss a beat on the stroke cadence there. Some other things to highlight, it's about as far as I can zoom in. Loren, let's look at your stroke work first. What I'm watching for starting at L3 is some torso engagement, and I'm just starting to see it. A little bit of side-to-side movement of this panel of your life jacket. Let's look at that again. So right there, I think that we get a little bit of side-to-side movement of that front panel. Something that you could work on, thinking towards L3, would be a shaft angle on your catch that's closer to 45. That would involve bringing your top hand closer to this shoulder or your forehead. That slides this blade further forward for a longer stroke. Now, I'm not saying that because you need a longer stroke or more speed here, just that if this were a demo, that your students who notice that would be more likely to mimic that. A second piece to work on, seeing some splash here in the power phase of your stroke. I believe that's because your blade is not completely in the water. So some things to watch for right now. You are in the power phase of your stroke, but your top hand is above eye level. Forehead is sort of the maximum height that we want. If we go perfectly eye level, obviously we block our own view. So as you're twisting forward to the catch, like I mentioned just a second ago, keeping that top hand at forehead level at the highest, possibly at shoulder level, that'll sink your blade fully in the water. That could also be accomplished by cheating your shaft hand up a little, or just by checking your paddle length. It could be that your paddle is a touch short. All right, let's look at Jeremy's stroke work entering the eddy. Also seeing some movement to the life jacket, including a hint of a twist from there to there, the end of your power phase. I think working through L3, L4 curriculum might look for a little bit more visible torso rotation. Same as with Loren, not because you need lots of speed here, just because this is a visible moment and we're trying to give our students a visual model. Something I am appreciating is just a slightly lower angle to the shaft than we were seeing in Loren's stroke, if that is if that is your angle at the catch, that's getting closer to that 45-degree angle. So here we have something approaching a longer reach. I think this hand could still come back that way for your catch, just to lengthen that stroke a little bit. It does put your blade at a sort of odd angle, but almost as soon as we unwind, that angle diminishes, getting closer to 90 again, and that top hand can punch forward a little bit. Let's watch you leaving the green tongue that we were just looking at your stroke work on. Really nice use of the green highway. The glacier water will tend to splash into our canoe a little bit less. Nice dodge of that crashing wave there. And really, really great entry angle. As we cross an eddy line, we are looking for an entry angle that is, excuse me, that is about 90 degrees to the current. Now, my angle measurer there says 36 degrees, and I believe that to be from camera angle. I think you're much closer to 90. We could cheat this way. Oop. So that's maybe more reflective of your entry angle. Looking for 90 on the entry angle because that really helps us to carve deep into the calmest part of the eddy using our existing downriver momentum. Let's watch for that. Okay. So quite a number of strokes there and a little bit of backwards drift that you're working against. So here is the end of your turn here, and just a little bit of downstream drift after your turn. Some things that can help that. An entry angle closer to 90 degrees. Staying on your forward stroke just a touch longer. Loren, you make a switch here to your crossbow draw while you're still in some of the main ripples of the current. Not the fastest current, but still in the current. If you were to wait until your hips were truly in the eddy there, so a stroke or two later, then a lot of the work that you're doing with the strokes here would be done for you by the river, and there would be a little bit more transfer of energy of your boat moving upstream without you needing to do these spin strokes. So that's something to look for at L3, especially if you're curious about L4. Last thing, really successful S-turn or shallow ferry here. Some things to consider. Now, your route, the way you did it, took you below this wave. I'm assuming that was plan A. There is also a path between the two waves, ferrying across here. Perhaps you discussed not wanting to be above that splash of this wave here. That's reasonable. Your entry angle ends up being almost perpendicular, indicated by the blue line. The lower line here is the direction of current. And I think for current this fast, like this little angle tool says 17 degrees, I tend not to give numbers. I just think about like more upstream than cross current when we're trying to not lose ground on a ferry. So it's not to say that your route was somehow wrong or not skillful. Again, it kept a lot of the splash out of your boat. When you start thinking about making moves higher up or losing less ground in very wavy terrain like this, start with an angle that is mostly upstream and like 1 or 2 degrees aimed at the direction you want to go, knowing that the current plus some tilt will assist you in like carving to a more open or more crossing direction angle. Things to play with, so much to do. I also wanted to take a sec to appreciate your entry here. Jeremy, a few steering strokes from you. It looks like a little bit of a stern draw to the hip, but Loren, you stay on your onside stroke the whole time, so that there's a little bit of a skid, a swing to the stern, but really no downstream drift like you had on the entry to the other angle. So that is zeroing in on what we might be looking at in terms of a tandem carving turn in the L3, L4 range. Thanks so much for a great couple days. It was really great working with you.